Okay. David, do you want me to text Lynn?
Yeah, you might. Oh, what the heck's that? From Charlie to everyone.
No, I don't, wasn't me. Just popped up on my screen.
What in
Ah,
the world is that?
that's pretty colorful.
Wasn't me.
I think I might have did that. I'm sorry.
You did?
I don't know. I hit virtual something. I was trying to get my face to show up. It won't show up.
Mine won't either, so that's all right.
Maybe a good thing. I'm at work, so, you know, I'm not used to this computer.
I texted Lynn, but
Okay,
there she is.
Where?
She's joining.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
I'm here if Lynn's here.
all right.
all right, Lynn.
I guess, do we want to begin then?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is our organizational meeting, and we probably need to begin with to make sure we have a quorum, so I'll call your names. Charlie Ballmaster,
Here.
Danny Bolin,
Here,
Lynn Fulkerson,
Here.
Paul Malone,
here,
David Aichen, here, Luke Thomas,
Here.
Earl Williams,
Early.
Earl.
Here,
Guys, that sounds like we got 7. So
Yeah.
we've got a quorum then. Okay, first item on the agenda is the election of a president. So at this time, I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Luke Thomas, president of the council for this coming year.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
David, do you want it?
Not particularly.
Okay, that's okay.
So I guess at this time then we can vote. All those in favor of Luke Thomas as president, signify by saying aye.
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 I'm abstaining.
Oh, you can vote for yourself.
I
Motion
know,
carries
but might as well not.
6-0.
Congratulations, Luke.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Good man, good man.
At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to the new president, Luke Thomas.
All right. Next up is election of vice president. So at this time, I will entertain a nomination for vice president.
I'd like to nominate David Aichen.
I'll second.
Yeah,
Okay. All those in favor of making David Aichen the vice president, signify by saying aye.
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 I abstain.
Here we go.
All right. Motion carries 6-0 with 1 abstention.
You guys are confusing me.
Sorry. Next, let's go ahead and approve the minutes from the November 24th meeting. As
About the meeting dates and times.
are we going to go to that next?
That's what I had next, and then I had minutes after that.
Okay.
Did we
So
get all-
set. Okay. I don't have the updated agenda, of course.
Sorry.
So next, we need to set the meeting dates for 2021. Right now, it is the 4th Thursday at 5 o'clock, right?
Correct.
Does anyone want to make a motion and then we can have discussion, or?
I'll make
make
a
a-
motion. We keep it the same.
That's why you've had it for a long time, hasn't it? Before
Yes.
5 o'clock.
I'll
Yeah,
second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
Do you think that's best for the citizens, the taxpayer, 5 o'clock, or should we go to a little bit later?
Well, I know we moved it from 4:30 to 5.
Yeah.
The only thing is we start running into like commissioners meetings, don't we?
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Only once in a while you will, because the commissioners are generally on the first Monday and the second Tuesday in the
Oh,
morning.
okay.
But like tonight, they're having a 6 o'clock meeting. So yes, that would cause a conflict if you go any later. You're just gonna have it every so often, but it's up to you guys what you want to do.
Well, I mean, if we were to change it for later, they would probably, those few meetings that we would have on the same days, wouldn't they schedule theirs an hour after ours, just to be on the safe side?
I don't know, because they've got theirs set at 6 o'clock. I'm not sure what they would do on those.
Okay.
Well, didn't we originally change it because Pam had to like hang around in town? Of course, with Zoom, that's not a big deal, but
Well, I know we changed it because with me working out of town,
Yeah.
it's just,
that was it.
but we didn't want to make it too late to have Pam have to wait around at the courthouse.
But now that this is being on YouTube and live stream, most anybody can attend,
Yeah, that's
where
true.
before they could not.
Mhm. I think we should leave it just the way it is.
That's fine.
I agree.
Okay.
You can always amend it.
Yes.
Right.
So right now it's the fourth Thursday at 5 o'clock, and we've got a first and a second.
Any other discussion? If not, I will, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so we will keep the meeting date the fourth Thursday at 5 p.m.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, next we have approval of the minutes from November 24th, which they were emailed to us ahead of time. And technically, under Robert's Rules of Orders, we don't really have to approve them. We just have to, if there's any changes, we make the changes, but if that, we can approve the minutes as is. So does anyone have any additions or anything needed to change?
Yeah, I'm staying on this here, Luke, since I wasn't
Okay.
involved in anything there, so.
Okay. If there's no changes, the minutes will be adopted as is. So
And what was that rule? Robert's rule?
Robert's Rules of Order, you don't need a second, or you don't need to approve or vote on minutes. You just approve them if there's no additions or changes,
Okay.
which I'll bring that up in a little bit. Okay, next on the agenda is discussion of letter for the Lit Special Legislation Fund. I asked Pam to put this on this meeting because I want to talk a little bit more about it in depth. We've discussed a little bit about changing or amending the statute that authorizes Perry County to the 0.5% tax rate to finance the jail and detention center. And we have discussed amending that language to allow for the remaining balance after the bonds are paid off to be transferred to a detention center fund. And we will need a letter from the council to the General Assembly saying that this is what we want to happen. So, but before we get into the letter part, I just wanted to share with you all a presentation that I worked up to kind of explaining everything. Okay. So the first thing we need to do before we can establish the plan is we need to amend the statute that authorizes the detention center financing, and that is through IC 6-3.6-7-17. And currently the language reads that once the lease rentals, after the final payment of lease rentals are due, all remaining funds will be transferred to the county highway fund to be used for construction of roads, etc. And that is the default course of action if there is no specific destination for those funds when the statute was adopted. So when Perry County approved this, they didn't, the council at the time didn't say the leftover funds are going to go to any certain place. So this was the default position, and it's also in that same section of code. So what we're kind of looking at is amending the statute to read that the final payments of lease rentals due under a lease entered into under this section shall be transferred to a jail maintenance and operations fund to be used for financing the maintenance and operations of the Perry County Detention Center. And that's just kind of the broad language that we need to first change before we can even talk about, a longer term funding plan.
Luke, I have a question.
Sure.
Is this the sole responsibility of the council or are the commissioners involved?
As far as I know, it's more of a council decision because it is of tax. It's an issue of tax rates, which the council is in charge of. But we can definitely talk about it with the commissioners as well, and the bond authority as well. But I think it needs to start from us.
Okay, I'm fine with it.
Okay. So as per their payment schedule, the bonds for the detention center are set to mature on February 1st of 2032. However, there's a redemption provision that states that the bonds can be paid at a date not earlier than August 1st, 2022 at face value plus accrued interest to the date fixed for redemption. So we can pay them off early and we don't have to wait until 2032 to do that. So right now there's currently $7.5 million in that fund, the special purpose detention fund, which is funded by the 0.5% tax on income. In the next 2 years, in 21 and 22, we'll bring in approximately $3.7 million into that fund via the special purpose local income tax rate. And after the scheduled lease payments for the next few years, we'll have approximately $9.5 million in there, which could be used to pay off the bonds early. So really, in February of 2023, we need about $7.1 million to be able to pay out the bonds early. And in doing so, redeeming those bonds in 2023, we could save the county and the taxpayers approximately $1 million in interest. And I've laid out on the right side of the screen, you can see the debt service schedule. We'd pay the interest on the February payment, and then we wouldn't pay the rest of the interest for the remaining schedule. So it's about $7.1 million that we need to pay off the bonds early in 2023. So with the balance in the detention center fund currently in the next 2 years of income taxes after release payments, we're gonna have about $9.5 million in that fund, which could be used to pay off the bond early. And we only need $7.1 million to do that. So after this is all said and done in February of 2023, we could have about $2.4 million in that fund, which could be transferred to a jail operations and maintenance fund. And currently, there's a variety of sources of funding for the jail. Right now, about $60,000 is in the special purpose lit fund. Another $250,000 is used in the jail operations fund, which is financed by edit dollars. That's 23.5% of yearly edit dollars. And then I included $40,000 as a miscellaneous amount moving that amount out of the general fund, which would free up more money in the general fund to be used for the jail. So taking all those three sources, you have the special purpose fund, then you have the jail operations fund, and then a miscellaneous amount in the general fund. It's about $350,000 needed to fund the jail once the lit rate disappears after the bonds are paid off. So when we take that $2.4 million we have left over after paying off the bonds early in 2023 and the $350,000 a year, we have about 6.9 years of jail operations in reserve if using that $350,000. And that doesn't include, there's of course, you have the public safety tax and you have the other general fund, but this is just including those funds in particular. So we have about 6.9 years of revenue at $350,000 a year. So I just kind of illustrated how it's kind of a self-funding mechanism. So we bring in about $266,000 through edit for the jail every year, and that's 23.5% of the edit funds. So if you look at year one and year two, we would spend $350,000 in those first 2 years, and we'd bring in $533,226. So we would be out that original, that $700,000, but we'd bring in that $533,000. So in theory, year three is really a year that we gained from the 2 years that we brought in, and then you're only spending $350,000 in year four, but you're collecting $533,000. So every 2 years, we bring in enough revenue to create another year of operations. And then after 4 years of this, you'd bring in enough excess to finance another year of operations. So every 2 years, you're bringing in a year, and then every 4 years, you're adding another year. So it's kind of like a self-funding mechanism using that 23.5% of edit dollars. So this plan could allow for the changing of the edit plan and the percentage allotments. So currently 23.5% of edit dollars go to the jail operations fund. However, that percentage could drop down to as low as 19%. And we could use that difference to go increase how much the highway department gets, or we could make an edit reserve fund, or we can put more towards courthouse security, or however the commissioners see fit, because the edit plan is currently under the control of the commissioners, not the council, but that's just something I wanted to mention. So when the bonds are paid off, when they're redeemed, the 0.5% lit rate established to finance the construction of the jail disappears. So that means the income tax rate would drop from 1.81% to 1.31% if no other changes occur at that time. So it would be a 27.6% drop in the county's income tax rate. And that would be effective October 1st of 2023 if we went through this plan. So if the bonds are redeemed early, as the plan provides in 2023, the county saves $1 million in interest. We establish a long-term funding plan for the detention center, and taxpayers receive a income tax break far sooner than the original plan calls for. And that's kind of it. I sent you a little bit earlier in the month, but it wasn't this exact plan, but that's kind of how I think, or how I see things happening when this language is amended. But all that can change. But first of all, we have to amend the language before any of that can happen or any further discussion. But we have to start with amending the language.
Hey, Luke, this is Mindy. I have a question, and,
Yep.
and I totally agree with this, but on your income projections, are you taking in the anticipated reduced?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't want to
2021,
quote
yeah,
numbers and be
right.
way far less.
Yeah, 2021 is that's already, we all have those certified shares, so I use that certified number. And then the 2022 numbers, I had anticipated at least $100,000 less than this year, which Larry DeBoer put out an article, it's in the Perry County News, that finances are actually going to be a little bit better than anticipated. So the revenue drop really might not be as bad as what they first expected. So, but I did account for a loss of some money in that overall revenue plan.
Okay, good. I just didn't want to have a false number.
Right. Yeah.
The-
Yeah, and if it's not 2.4 million, maybe it's 2.3, 2.2. It's still still quite a reserve. But yeah, it's a good point. But I did figure those in there. So that's kind of like the general idea behind doing this. Of course, that can all change, but I just wanted to put something together so we could kind of see where the end goal could maybe be. So really all I'm looking for tonight is approval to send Steve Bartels, our state representative, a letter saying that we wish to have this language amended on behalf of the county council.
You need that in the form of motion?
I think it would be best if we had a motion on it and voted on it.
I would make that a motion that we submit that letter to Steve Bartels.
I'll
Is there-
second.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, Paul, I'm sorry.
Any further discussion on just sending the letter? If not, there's a motion to send the letter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Second,
Charlie made the second, I think.
okay.
I overrode Paul, sorry.
Yeah.
So I have a letter typed up. I will sign that and send that off to Representative Bartels after this meeting. And we'll see what happens from there.
Thank you, Luke.
Yep. Okay, next on the agenda, we have board appointments expiring December 31st, 2020. So first on the list, we have the Alcohol Beverage Board, one appointment for a one-year term. Currently, it's Randy McBrayer. We only have one letter of interest, and it was from Randy. So at this time, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0 to make Randy McBrayer our appointment. Next, we have the Community Corrections Advisory Board, one appointment, a council member for a 2-year term. Currently, it is Danny Bolin. At this time, I'd entertain a motion, and we can have discussion afterwards if necessary.
I nominate Danny Bolin.
I'll second.
Danny, do you want this?
Oh,
you
yeah,
want this nomination? Okay.
sure, yeah.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0 to make Danny Bolin our appointment for the Community Corrections Advisory Board. Next on the list, we have the Economic Perry County Development Corporation Delegate. Currently, that is Lynn Fulkerson. I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to nominate Erla Williams.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. So now we have Erla Williams. Okay. Oh, I kind of got way out of order, didn't I?
Why?
No.
Not
I
according
didn't.
to my list.
Okay. Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission. Currently, it is David Achen.
Yep. You skipped one on
What did I
mine.
skip on my list?
Economic development was next.
Oh, okay. Do we need to discuss the Economic Development Commission appointment?
Yes, I didn't know, don't remember signing up for that. I don't remember.
It's been ongoing, Paul. You've been on it for several years. I don't think you have, I don't even know how many meetings you might have even had. It's just something that, it's just been an ongoing
Okay,
appointment that's just never changed. I think now the question is,
Can you? Yeah.
can you with being on the council?
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
question.
I had no problem. I just,
And that's a commissioner appointment, correct? Or is that one of ours?
No, this is one of yours.
Oh, so we do have one. Okay.
Yeah.
So at this time, I would entertain a motion and we can have discussion.
Well, I wouldn't have any problem with Paul staying on there, of course, but we don't know whether it's.
no, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I just,
What is the purpose of that commission? What does it do? What's its function? Does anybody know?
I have
really,
no idea.
Teresa, is there anything written down in the book?
I don't have any information on it, other than
Can
it's
we
probably.
table this until
Just gone
we
this
find
far.
out more information? Luke,
Yeah, we can do that.
is that okay, Paul? I
that's
mean,
fine. That's fine with me.
Charlie, you making that motion?
I'm making a motion, we table this until we get some more information on the position and who can hold it.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor of tabling to the next meeting signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0 to table this until the next meeting. Okay. Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission. One appointment for a 1-year term, and it is a council member, and that is currently David Achen.
I nominate David Achen again.
I'll second.
Any discussion? David, do you want to stay on there?
Yes.
All right. All those in favor of making David Achen our appointment to the Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission signify by saying aye.
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 I will abstain from that just because. So motion carries 6-0. Okay, next we have the Personnel Policy Committee. 2 appointments, 2 council members for a 1-year term. Currently, it is David Achen and Lynn Fulkerson. I would entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion for both of them.
I'll second.
So all those in favor of keeping David Achen and Lynn Fulkerson as our appointment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have the Public Library Board. 1 appointment for a 4-year term, and that is currently vacant, correct?
Correct. And I got no letters of interest on this at this time.
So we need
We were
to,
going to extend that for a few days, wasn't we?
Yes, you had talked about this because we got that letter from Colleen later, so,
Of course, it never did make the paper or appointment.
well, my understanding from Darius is that, and I did look at it, he put it as county appointments where he integrated both boards together.
I didn't see that.
I didn't.
do we
either.
want to postpone this until our regular meeting and give us more time to get applicants?
Okay,
Yes.
I will make sure it gets in the paper.
At this time, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Yeah, I did.
I'll
All those
second.
in favor of postponing this until our regular scheduled meeting for the month of January, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have the Redevelopment Commission, 2 appointments, each a 1-year term.
I'm gonna need to abstain on this here, Luke. So,
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. Um,
Luke, I'd like to nominate John Shear.
Okay.
Do you
Um,
want Luke to read them first?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
we
okay.
should. I'll read out the names
What?
and then we'll make nominations and then we'll make a formal motion. So,
and the reason I need to abstain is that I'm currently on the redevelopment commission, and my name is on for consideration with the commissioners at this meeting. So either way, I would vote on this could be seen as a conflict. So it's best for me if I were to get reappointed. So my best then now is to abstain on this particular issue.
Hey, I wanted to ask Rod Acciardo, is that a problem for Paul?
I checked with Chris, and Chris said it wasn't.
I don't-
Wasn't?
Yeah,
I don't think it is either.
yeah.
David, I found out that a lot of counties have people from the council on that board.
Right.
Yeah, I checked with Chris, and he looked into it and said same thing Charlie said, that other counties do that too quite a bit, so.
okay. So we received letters of interest from John Shear, Carol Hagedorn, Keith Huck, Bill Dickerson, Randy Cole, and J.R. Flynn. Did I miss anyone, Pam?
No, that's the ones that were directed to the council.
Okay. So since we have so many, I'd first maybe like to do nominations and then we can actually vote. So I'd entertain any nominations at this time.
At this time, I nominate John Shear.
You want to nominate anyone else?
Yes, Bill Dickerson.
Does anyone else want to nominate anyone? If not, nominations are now closed. So I will entertain a formal motion now.
Did you need a second?
No, you don't need a second to open and close nominations.
Okay. Oh, you're just opening and closing.
Yeah, now we need to actually vote on the nominations. So at this time, I entertain a motion.
I make that motion for John Shear and Bill Dickerson.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of making John Shear and Bill Dickerson the council's appointments to the Redevelopment Commission signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries 6-0 with 1 abstention. Okay. Next, we have the Solid Waste Management District, 1 appointment, and it is a council member.
I nominate Charlie Ballmaster.
I'll second that.
All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0 with 1 abstention. Okay, next we have the Zoning Appeals Board. We have 1 appointment and it is a 4-year term. We had 1 letter of interest from Donald Newell. So at this time, I would entertain a formal motion.
I nominate Donald Orwell Newell.
Do I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
Okay.
Erla second to that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All those in favor of making Donald Newell the Zoning Appeals Board appointment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Hey, Luke, I did find out something Teresa brought to my attention, and it was after I'd already sent everything out to you guys.
Yes.
The EMA Advisory Council. Right now, David is currently on the board for virtue of the office. Do you still want to stay on that, David?
I can. I just assumed it was always the president, but it doesn't matter.
I don't think it had to be the president, did it, Teresa?
Okay.
In the past, it has been a lot of the times, but this is a 2-year term and presidents can change from year to year. So,
Okay.
you know,
So it
so
can-
it's
yeah.
not always, but
I'm
Yeah.
okay being on there.
Okay. Do we need to make that a formal motion?
Yeah, you
Pam?
probably do.
I'll
Okay.
make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of making David Asian our appointment to the EMA Advisory Board signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Good, that went really good.
All right, that is our appointments. Next is miscellaneous. Does anyone have anything? I've got a couple of things, but does anyone else have anything?
I just wanted to congratulate you and your pay remains the same. You thought you
Yeah,
were gonna
yeah,
get a pay increase.
yeah.
No wonder you were so easily to give it up, David.
If no one
I have
has,
something.
okay, go ahead,
if I
Teresa.
could.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that the county was chosen for a presentation / interview for that Steel Road project. And we will be having a virtual interview on Wednesday morning. So
Awesome.
we'll keep you posted regarding the outcome.
Anyone else have anything?
I'd like to welcome Paul to the
Yes.
council.
Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
All
He's
right,
a
I've
good
got,
old Perry Central graduate.
he's what?
He's a good old Perry Central graduate.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's,
All right, I've got a couple of things that I submitted a conflict of interest form to the state because I'm working with Indiana 15 now. So I just wanted to officially submit that just to make sure we're good on that. So I did do that. Another thing we talked about a long time ago was department liaisons. I'm going to send out an email to the council with all the departments listing, and we can start kind of talking about who wants to be a liaison for which department, and we can decide to form that formally at our regular meeting this month. So I'll look out for that email. And then another thing is the Association of Indiana Counties sent out an email about best practices for 2021. And they discuss, especially since meetings are virtual, adopting a resolution of decorum and procedures for meetings. I'll forward that to everyone if you haven't seen that yet, but I think we should look at kind of doing that, especially with virtual meetings, being able to mute people and all that sort of stuff. You know, if anything like that happens, I think we just need to have formal procedures for that. And they provided, Delaware County provided their rules, and their attorney was on there. So I'll forward that to you, Rod, so you can look at that as well. And we can kind of just discuss that. That doesn't have to be anything immediate, but just kind of having rules of decorum and procedures, like officially making Robert's Rules of Order, how we, facilitate meetings, stuff of that nature. So I'll send that out to everyone just so you can look over it, and we can discuss it at our next meeting as well. But other than that, I don't have anything else. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn if there's no other business.
I'll make that motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0, and we are adjourned.
hey,
Good
Luke,
evening.
Everyone
Yes.
have a good evening. Have a good week.
same to you.
Thank you.
Luke, is there any chance that you can get me that presentation that you had?
Yep, I sure will.
And the letter you're gonna send out to Stephen Bartels? And then
Yes,
adopting these resolution things that you're gonna send out to the rest of the council?
I will carbon copy you on everything.
I appreciate it very much. 'Cause I
And
had many notes in the presentation. I thought I'd get it from you.
that'd make it a lot easier. And do I need to send that conflict of interest form to you as well, or am I good? I just uploaded it
If
straight to
you
Gateway.
want